What's up, guys? Yesterday I was completely exhausted, so I went to bed. I slept 7 hours and I was pretty recovered, so today I was back at it. It was 3 nights in a row with, averaging 5 hours every night. I believe it was 4 hours and 40 minutes, 4 hours and 50 minutes, like 5 hours and 20 minutes. I believe that was the length of the nights. It left me exhausted. I almost didn't have the energy to walk up to my bed. I almost fell asleep on the floor, which I often do when I'm so tired, so I just lie down directly on a cold floor and then fall asleep. That happens sometimes when I sleep way too little. I'm not in that position right now. I'm not sleep deprived. I just came off a school break that was a week long. That week obviously flew by incredibly fast. It felt like it just a couple of days. And it was a couple of days, but it gave me some time to recover, although I didn't sleep a lot during that break either, since I had stuff to do that was, fun. Fun stuff. If I had to choose between fun and sleep, I will choose the fun, unless it's absolutely necessary for me to sleep, like it was last night. The only problem with last night was that I didn't train either. But I did not have the energy to train, and by the way, my body was completely destroyed from that Monday. And even today, I felt my lower back was really fatigued. I don't know why, but it really was. And that's strange, but it wasn't fatigued to the extent that it really affected my training too much. I mean, if you look at this here, these are some clean 107.5 kilo squats for triples. I want to be able to do triples with 112.5 and do 132.5 on my regular squats for 1 rep, that is. So basically just to get back to where I was at my very peak, do it at a slightly lower body weight this time and at a better level of cardiovascular conditioning. Then, a couple days out from competition, I will crash down and lose anywhere in between 4 and 5 kilos, depending on how disciplined I am with my diet. It may be over 5 kilograms, but then again, my weight usually fluctuates by about 2 kilograms. I was 77.5 yesterday morning, and this morning I was 79.5. So if you want to put it that way, and I won't, and I know, well, I will, but I know it doesn't work this way. But in theory, that means I had 6.5 kilos to lose from a morning weight. Like when I performed this workout today, if I kept any of the weight that I gained yesterday from just eating pizza, I would most definitely have weighed over 80 kilos while performing this workout before your very eyes right here. Which is a strange thought that I weigh 80 kilos walking around. That makes me uncomfortable just thinking about it. Because I know how hard it is going to be to lose all of these kilos while I'm still growing. But I know I can do it. I've done it before. The mental toughness required for losing weight is nowhere near the mental toughness required to wake up when I'm as exhausted as I am in the mornings. Man, that's the most difficult thing I do in my life right now. The 5K runs is the most difficult thing. I haven't done that in soon to be 6 weeks, but I know how fucking excruciating they are. And I will never, ever forget just how hard my runs are and how much I hate them, how much I fear them, how much they demoralize me when I don't reach incredible speeds. But anyway, where was I even going with that? Well, really what I meant to say was that the second most difficult thing that I do in my life is wake up in the morning. And it isn't supposed to be that way, but that is the way I feel about things. Yeah, you can really see the lower back fatigue here in this workout. I have a rounded back on pretty much everything I'm doing, which obviously that's going to make my back hurt eventually. And not even eventually. Oftentimes I get pain after just a couple days of bad form. Oh my god, that's so terrible. Yeah, this is not what I want. And I believe that it hurts my rotator cuffs when I have a rounded back on these. I think it has something to do with shoulder position. I felt my right rotator cuff, it wasn't very happy with the rows today. 3 sets of 14 with 70 kilograms. That's a pretty heavy row for pretty high reps. And I'm cheating, but I'm not massively cheating. Like, I could probably do 3 sets of 20 with the worst form imaginable. But this is 3 sets of 14 with weight that's still... I mean, the weight class, that if you want to count it like this, it's 3 kilos lower than the weight class I'm going to cut down to. So, I'm basically rowing, a light version of me, kind of, if you can imagine that. Like, I'm rowing a person here. 70 kilos, that's a pretty light person, yes, but that is still a person. That could be a woman, maybe. A decent-sized woman weighs 70 kilos, so I'm basically rowing a human being right here for, sets of 14. That's a lot of volume. That hits your lats a lot. And the difficulty is not in doing this once. It's so much harder to do this 6 days a week, or actually 5 days a week. That's what I usually do. When I don't skip workouts, I'm meant to do rows 5 days a week. And I mean, it totals out to 15 sets of 15 hard sets of rows per week. And that really crushes the lats. Then when you add 5 sets of pull-ups, so that per week, and then when you add, my deadlifts and my grip work, and then a little bit of upper back stress from my seated overhead presses as well, you're getting a lot of volume just in general when it comes to the back. And man, it's difficult. But I do believe that these are the muscle groups that need the most attention, that need the most volume from me. The issue is when that volume isn't as high in quality. And I'm doing the right reps, I'm doing the right sets, I'm doing the right rest intervals, everything's planned out. I'm doing the deficit as well, which hits the lower back more. But the difficulty is keeping that lower back straight, keeping it tight, because that makes these rows so much more difficult. And I have a very weak lower back when you compare that to my lats, for example. And it is very evident by the fact that I have done a 50 kilogram weighted chin-up, and my best deadlift ever was 155 kilograms. So I am pulling up a grand total of 120 kilos in total, plus, wait a bit, no, that's more. I'm pulling up 130 kilos in total, and then I'm doing a deadlift with 155. So, and most people will have a much larger gap between, what they can do on a pull-up or chin-up and what they can deadlift. I'm literally pulling myself up with that much total weight, and the lats don't work nearly as hard when you do a deadlift and you have to hold it with straight arms, at least with the same amount of weight. So it is worrying that I have such a weak lower back, but I do not have the recovery ability while losing weight to put more volume into it, and that is what I would do if I was bulking. I would actually put even more volume into the lower back, because I feel like I can technically recover from more volume. I would probably do good mornings with 20-25 kilos for really perfect technique and just smash the fuck out of my lower back. But now we're not going to do that. We're going to just try to keep the form on these rows more solid. But other than that, it was a pretty good workout today. I'm especially happy with the 62.5 kilogram seated overhead press, which is 2.5 kilos from my lifetime PR on that lift. Doing well. I'll see you guys tomorrow after taekwondo training. So that's going to be really hard to find the energy and the strength to train tomorrow. That is going to be the biggest challenge of tomorrow, except for waking up, because I'm going to be extremely tired after this late evening. And unfortunately, I have to sacrifice sleep right now in my life to get everything in. And I just feel how bad it is for me, but I really, really need the time. I don't have the time. The only way that I could find this time is if, I stopped hanging, or not really hanging, but if I ended a certain, if I stopped spending time with a certain person, and if I trained immediately as I came home, and never, literally had zero free time in my life, not a single hour of the day, then I would be able to train and sleep a lot. But I don't have the discipline to do that. So this is where I'm at right now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.